Hello. How is everyone? I hope y'all are doing well. I am making sure this is working. Did y'all have a good day? Everyone doing okay?
You have a good
Okay.
day.
Hello. So it's Thursday. I hope y'all had a good day. I want to talk a little bit today about um, just about going on a college visit if you're able to, if you are able to make that visit and potential questions to ask, or if you're not, even things that you can do in talking with an admissions officer. So some of what I'm going to talk about is, what you are able to physically see. So if you're not going to in person to that particular college, it is certainly something that you want to consider looking at their website, looking at the dorms, online, seeing what you can find out, looking at the different pieces, and or having a conversation with an admissions officer to see what they have to say. So one of the things that you want to do is make sure there's going to be a lot of information that students can find out from the website. They can find out from looking at social media and other pieces. And so as you are having conversations and communication with admission officers, when you're going on a tour, when you have that college admissions guide who is taking you on the tour of the campus or part of that virtual tour, and they say, "What questions do you have for us?" Some people say, are not sure what they want to talk about. Others say, yep, this is absolutely, here are the questions that I have. But some of it is, I would say, be careful not to ask too many questions that are ones that you can find out by looking online. What's your acceptance rate? What are the test scores? If you are taking a tour and it's not something that you had been planning on, and those are your questions, that's great. But these are just some other ideas of things. So finding out, this is, I think, a big one, finding out what the dorms are going to look like. Is your student going to have a shared bathroom? Is it that they have a room and they have 3 roommates and the 4 people are sharing a bathroom? Is it a community bathroom on the hall? And what kind of privacy are they going to have? And what is that bathroom situation going to look like? Are there quiet hours? What kind of activities might there be in the dorm? Um, you know, where is the RA typically in location to where the other students are? An RA is a resident advisor. And so that is a college student who is there to be able to help and support students if they need something. They will help with planning activities. They're there just to kind of check in, someone for residents to go talk to if they needed anything. Is there a study area or a lounge area? What kinds of are there restrictions as far as bringing in a small refrigerator or a microwave, that kind of thing? Are students able to loft their bed where they set the bed up on risers, and how does that look? So just different questions about the dorms. The other thing might be, what are some of the students' favorite meals that are in the dorms? And are there any restaurants that are around that students would recommend, or ones they would say that maybe students should avoid? So that can be something that's helpful. If you are looking at a school that's further away, one other question might be to say, okay, what does it look like as far as commuting? So how would my student be able to access getting to an airport if they had to fly home? Or if they lived off campus, how would they be able to access getting onto campus? What does commuting look like? Is there a bus line? Is it something where students would have to come in and pay for parking? Is it something where there would be, that biking would be an option? And then also activities. So what kind of activities are in the area for students, and how are they able to access those? Are there things on campus? Is there a bowling alley? Is there a movie theater? Is there a pool that students can play, maybe in the student activity center? Is there a gym? Those types of things. Another one would be, what does campus security look like? So are there different stations with lights that are throughout campus? If your student is walking at night, what might that look like? Is there a button that they can push to say, I'm walking home, and are there like security poles where there's a button that they can push if they're having an issue? We have cell phones now, so that can make things a little bit easier than maybe but I know certainly when I was in college, and maybe when some of you were in college, that there wasn't that easy access. But I think it's still that campus security is important, and knowing that students have a way of contacting someone if there is a need, any kind of emergency services. Um, Finding out a little bit about what the tour guides or the person that you're talking to, what do they like to plan to do for the weekend? What does a typical weekend look like? Now, we know that there are some certain activities that students will get involved in, maybe whether that be partying or whatever else it might be. And so being aware of safety, being aware of legalities, being aware of what other kinds of activities there are, being aware of your family values, those are all important things, and finding things that students have easy access to. Also, if your student wants to enjoy shopping and they are in the middle of the country and they have to drive an hour and a half to get to a Target or to get to a store to be able to go do things, that's important to be aware of. If they don't care, but they want to make sure that they have easy access to go to the football game or the basketball game or baseball or whatever sport they might be interested in, but the college doesn't have a lot of athletic teams, that's also important. So knowing what's available, talking to the admissions officers, talking with the guides, talking with potential students about what classes they enjoy that maybe aren't even in their majors. There's something that they've heard of that has been, or something they've taken that's been interesting. If there's an elective that students have to take, and maybe something that just is your student had never even thought of before. Another one is, what do those students wish that they knew about when they came to college as a freshman? Are there any hints or tips that they have, things that would have made their lives a little bit easier if they had known about it? I think the culture of the campus is a really big deal, and that can make a big difference on how a student might experience their schooling. So I think that also is important to, what does the college campus life look like? What is the culture of the school? What to learn more about the community? Is it important for your student to have diversity? Do they feel like it's important to make sure that it's a diverse campus? Do they want to make sure maybe there's a religious organization that they want to be a part of? All of those things can make a difference and can have an impact on a student's experience. So the next thing I would suggest is, what would that guide or that person change about campus if there was one thing that they could change? And that might give you some insight into, if you say, what don't you like about campus? They may be a little bit more hesitant or more, not that they're going to lie by any means, but phrasing it as a what don't you like versus what would you change, you might get a little bit of a different answer. When students are looking at your potential major, and this is something that you can look at on the website, but also something that you can find out about when you are when you are talking with that potential person in admissions, about learning about general education professors, learning about major specific. Are they doing any kind of research? Is there something that they are really passionate about? And if that's something that is in alignment with your student, that could make a major difference on what they're going to do. And then the other thing I would say is, look at the newspaper, look at any kind of media publications, look at social media, look and see if there is a TV program, all of those things to find out if they have a radio program, fine arts, all of those types of information will help you learn what's going on that campus and hear from it from the view of a student. So those are some questions that I would ask. Those are some things that I would consider. I hope this has been helpful. If you want to talk through this more, please reach out. I am happy to set up a time to talk with you and have some further conversation. There is a lot of potential for students. This is a great time for our seniors. For juniors, this is something that you really are going to be looking at pretty quickly. I think if you talk to any senior that just graduated or those going into senior year, it seems like, holy cow, how did we get here already? So I hope this was helpful. I hope y'all have a fantastic evening. Send me a message if you want to dive a little bit deeper and we can talk more through your specific questions and help make sure that your student is on the right path. Have a great evening. Bye.